The sanctuary and castle of Javier is located in a small town in Navarra called Javier, about 52 kilometers from Pamplona. It is a place where the man of today, yesterday and tomorrow may receive the good news of salvation which helps him follow the right path of life. Each year, the sanctuary and castle of Javier opens its doors to thousands of men and women, Christian and non-Christian visitors, mainly from Spain, France, Italy, Germany, the United States and Japan. Here, the question arises, what do the pilgrims and religious tourists want and expect by coming to Javier? Most of them seek a personal encounter with the merciful and good-natured invisible power who they call God by different names, according to their beliefs. In this sense, one could say that Javier is a privileged place of evangelization, a place of reconciliation, consolation and hope, as well as a gallery of art, history and culture. At the beginning of the second millennium, in the 11th century, Xavier, a Basque name that means new house, was an isolated defensive tower located on the border between the kingdoms of Navarra and Aragon. The infant Fernando de Aragon gave the town and fortress to the King of Navarre, Sancho VII el Fuerte, in 1223 as a guarantee for a loan that could not be repaid, so Javier definitively became part of the Kingdom of Navarre. And later, this is where Francisco Javier was born on April 7th in 1506. In the museum and art gallery there are documents, coins, furniture, objects and paintings of the era that illustrate the cultural, artistic and religious heritage of Javier. José López Furrio built these sculptures in 1967. There are 12 and are presented in a sharp perspective behind the crystal which produced the most significant moments of the biography of Javier. These sculptures are installed in the old cellar of the castle. What used to be the old stables of the castle now exhibit objects belonging to the site and memories of the saint. You can understand the historical evolution of the castle thanks to a magnificent model, various schemes and plans, watercolours by Marquis de Villa Antonia, and portraits of Madrazo. There are also medals, chalices, engravings and documents of that era. The kakemonos are Japanese drawings of the late 14th century that reflect scenes of the evangelization by Javier in that country. The grand or principal hall was a place for receiving guests and where the inhabitants of the castle spent much of the day. Located to the right of the tower is the chapel San Miguel. It is the greatest treasure in the castle. It occupies the so-called Tower of Christ, a small space that originally was a place of prayer and worship for the family. The room is presided with a smiling Christ carved in walnut, dating from the 13th century. Tradition says that this carving sweated blood the day Javier died on the coast of China. The Basilica was made by architect Ángel Goicoechea between 1896 and 1901 and was commissioned by the Duchess of Villahermosa, descendant of the family of Javier. The basilica is of an eclectic style and uses elements of Romantic, Gothic and Byzantine art. The neo-Romanesque facade contained in its tympanum with the names of the different parts of Europe, Africa and Asia and their capitals visited by Javier represent different scenes from his life. The interior is a neo-Gothic nave with pilaster stands. On the altar there stands a large image of San Francisco Javier, flanked by 12 Jesuit saints. To his right, Francisco de Borja, Pedro Claver, Francisco de Regis, Francisco Jerónimo, Paul Miki and Pius Ignacio Acevedo. And to his left, Luis Gonzaga, John Berchmans, Stanislao Kostka, Alonso Rodriguez, Juan Diego Goto, and Kisai. Upon the doors, several Italian paintings by Caparoni depicting various moments of the life of Javier can be found throughout the castle. The Francisco de Jasso classroom, designed by the architect Anton López de Aberasturi, is configured as a classroom auditorium for 1,300 people, where they can attend liturgical and cultural religious acts in appropriate conditions. Attached is the exhibition hall with 1,258 seats. The exhibition hall covers an area of 140 square meters, and the research centre and Schurhammer register is 80 square meters. The Ignatian Spirituality Centre of Javier is a centre of service and inspiration with the purpose to help deepen the Christian life and experience. Jesuits believe this, along with the Ignatian spirituality, is an excellent way to live life in an integrated, harmonious and constructive manner. The temple has a unique value in the spiritual path of Saint Francis Xavier. That is where his first conversion took place by receiving the baptism water in the basin beneath the choir, an interesting piece of the 15th century. His childhood and adolescent prayers before heading on the Parisian adventure were directed to the Virgin and Child altarpiece, aware of the exciting future for the love of Christ that awaited the young Javier.